Hello again everybody, and a very warm welcome back to the channel. Today we're back at Antarctica, and we've got the Aerosoft add-on, the British Rothera and Beyond scenery here from Microsoft Flight Simulator. We might even try and depart with a bit of penguin cam as well. And we're previewing the Aerosoft Twin Otter once again, so really excited for this. So I'm going to show you guys another week's worth of progress. We're 1 week away now actually. Where are we? Saturday. So yeah, just shy over a week away from the planned release for this add-on. So I hope you guys are all excited, enjoying the previews from myself and other streamers as well that are now starting to pick it up too. And we're looking at planning some other flights with it as well. On release day, I'm looking to do a particular stream, but all the details of that will come out in due course. Hopefully, it could become one big old juicy group flight. All the links are in the description down below, so if you want to monitor the Aerosoft forum, or in fact want to purchase and pick up the Twin Otter here for Microsoft Flight Simulator, then just check out the links down in the description below. It's a beautiful bit of scenery, vast landscape as well. It's well over, is it 10,000 square miles of scenery, but here she is, parked outside the hangar. We're connected onto the VATSIM network here at British Rothera. Call sign, by the way, is Penguin. Penguin 165, of course it is. It was about 20 minutes ago I was researching the call signs here for the British Antarctic Survey, and yeah, apparently their call sign is Penguin, which is really exciting. Matchek, hello. Richard, Gridman, Just Jace, Alex as well, hello to you guys. Jurassic, good afternoon, and Mathis as well, hello to you. Very warm welcome, guys. Dylan, hello to you as well. Tomorrow, by the way, we're going to be doing another little flight, and weather permitting and all that sort of stuff. If I remember, I'm going to show you guys a community-made video that's like an intro-outro thing, which is going to be really cool. I'm going to show you Valanta in a little while because our route is a bit funky today. I've actually used the world map. But here we are, down at British Rothera, on our Jack Jones. Ban 165. We're going to depart 18 or 36, haven't decided which yet. And then we're going to head away from British Rothera, across towards San Martin Base. And then we're going to head into this vast sort of Arctic wilderness. And somewhere around here, between Alexander Island and George the 6th ice shelf, there is Fossil Bluff skiway. An Arctic bit of land strip, if you like. I think it's a refueling station in real life. For flights and things to then go further into the continent down here somewhere towards a place called Sky Blue. We were going to do all of those in combination, but the problem it was like a 3-hour, 4-hour flight between the two, so that wasn't possible. Here we are anyway in the ski variant of the Twin Otter. I'm not going to use the skis today because it's light snow on the ground and all that sort of stuff, but it should be fine. Matchuk, well, welcome back. It's great to see you tuning in again. Craig, good afternoon to you. Pates and Gridman, yeah, not quite. Yeah, I mean, I was supposed to show you guys the new intro-outro today at the start of the stream, but I finished night shift about 5 hours ago again, so I forgot. Here we go, a little reminder. This is a work in progress, and features might change near to release as well, of course, so do remember that. Hit subscribe down below, give the live stream today a little like as well while you're here. Sounds and everything that you're going to hear today are being tweaked all the time, so you can expect some changes. I know last time people were saying that the animations of the doors were quite quick. I don't mind them, to be honest. William, hello. Rothera seems cool, but never see anyone fly anywhere but around the airport. How does it look out further? Good question. It's really nice. Very barren, very desolate, I guess. We're on Unicom 122.8, but there is no one around us anyway, but I might just use the call sign Penguin 165 anyway, just to mark our departure. Not sure if anybody else is intending on joining us today. Been fiddling around with our cockpit cams and all that sort of stuff as well. And also one of the actual real-world testers has sent me a bit of a combined checklist as well, just to sort of work through. Startup apparently is really easy, so you make sure all the levers at the top are fully rear, and they are. I'm actually getting a new throttle and yoke system. I'm getting the new Turtle Beach Velocity Flight. So what I'm hoping to do, that's got 4 levers. With this, I'm looking to create the first 2 for the throttle and then the second 2 for the prop, which is going to be really exciting. But they're all back. Fuel emergency switches are in norm. Yep, they are. Battery and EXT external switch to battery. DC master on. Lights as required. So up here, anti-coll, position lights, all that sort of stuff. We're going to get it started up fairly quickly today, to be fair. Probably turn some of those de-icers and things on as well. They're all on. Gen 1 and 2 are off. They are. Caution light test, which is this one. Fire handles are in, so that's again on the... Oh, brilliant. Who's that? I can't see the fire engine switches because there's an aeroplane in the way. But basically there's the fire handles are in. They're in the centre pedestal sort of bit of the dash here. They are. There he goes. It's almost like the A340 that landed in Antarctica a little while ago. Good old Asobo blob. But there we are. There's the fire pull switches here, 1 and 2 left and right. Fire panel test. We can just get rid of the music for a second. Fuel boosts 1 and 2 down here. We can hide the pedestal. So we can do 1 and 2 test there, and then fuel boosts 1 and 2 go on, so on they go. Starter, right engine. So right up here now, again, we can drop to here, and it's engine starts, start up right engine on. Wait for 12% gas gen. Going to be that dial there. And then it's condition lever on, so there's 12. Fuel. Wait for the engine start. So now, you couldn't really see it, but there's a voltage thing. So when, I guess it's more prominent at night time. Effectively, you would see all the lights and things dim slightly. Okay, and then repeat with engine left. Leo, yeah, we're on VATSIM today. 12. Can't see that one. There we go. So the engines are working at starting up and stuff at the moment. They're not really at full whack because we've got a bit more to do with the checks. So you can see they're turning over and all that sort of stuff at the moment. But now we need to start thinking about actually making them generate some power. So when at idle with prop feathers, you hear the realistic sounds apparently. So then we unfeather the props. Like so. And then we add power to generate 70 gas gen. So a little bit of power here. Like so. And then we go, so basically the propellers are going to slowly make themselves, well, they're going to change pitch to a fine pitch mode. Now we need to go back to the overhead and we need to turn gens left and right to on. Flaps to 10. Like so. And then what else have we got here? We just need things like taxi lights, landing lights and all that sort of stuff. We're going to put de-icer boots onto auto and fast. Go for wing outer I think on this time. Let's turn all the lights on, shall we? Pitot heat definitely needs to go on as well. And the landing light, and then that's pretty much our before taxi checks complete. So let's close that. And you know what I need to remember as well? To actually shut the cargo doors. Done. And then takeoff wise is a different game entirely. Jurassic. No. Thankfully not. You'll be pleased to know. Yes, it's definitely not worth the criticism. I swear people think I'm a real pilot sometimes. Right, so now we can idle the throttle again, I think. Yeah, throttle to idle. And that's pretty much all the checks done. So all we need to do then is take-off checks, so controls full and free, brakes on and all that sort of stuff as well. But we'll go through that in a second. And I'm literally reading through it all as we go. But I'm hoping you guys can hear some different noises today. Really looking forward to the actual Scottish sort of livery Loganair thing that goes into Barra. That's armed. That's all good. So let's get this back up again. So ski position, you can actually change it down here. So there's your up and down, and that'll amend the ski's position itself. Right. Rothera traffic. Penguin 165 is taxiing to the active Astro. Very true. Very true. In fact, where is... it'd help if I went onto Unicom, wouldn't it? Rothera traffic. Penguin 165 is taxiing to the active. Are you reading a checklist? An included manual. So there is an included manual actually. It's about 160 or so pages long. You'll be pleased to know. Should we depart north? Let's do that. Where's the ship actually? That's a good question. It's over there. Yeah, we'll definitely go over that. No model matching error today, but it's quite possibly a random call sign like British Antarctic Survey or something that I don't have. Of course, last time we were flying the Twin Otter, we were able to enjoy Join FS, and on that you can actually change the settings and you can turn other aircraft into different things. So we enjoyed turning everything into Twin Otters. Question is, where are the penguins? There they are. Penguin camp. Hi, hello. Can't wait for this. Yeah, it is really good fun, to be honest. I'm going to fiddle around with my sensitivities a little bit here before we depart, because I feel like Microsoft Flight Simulator once again has reset all my settings, which is rather annoying. I want as much runway as possible, and I'll use a bit of differential braking to spin around. It handles really nice and nimble on the ground. But of course, we don't want to go into that water, so part brake on a second. We're going to go control options. Definitely rudder is reset itself So I find sometimes I have to go into here and sort of just tap a few bits to wake it up, and then it all works fine again, which is really weird and a little frustrating. Reese is going to get the Bravo throttle today, very exciting. Here comes the big jet, fantastic. Just going to grab a couple of screenshots. Flight time today of around 2 hours or so. Okay, so then the pre-takeoff checks is controls full and free, so here you want to make sure all of this moves. If we want to see the actual outside animations, then we can pop outside here. You can see elevators and ailerons, rudder. So then we're quite satisfied there. Brakes are on at the moment. Set power to 30 torque, PSI, the top engine gauge. So up here, we want to set 30. We've got that brakes on still. So it's about half, I think, for me, or just beyond half. There we are. And again, if you've got a really good, decent throttle system, you won't have the same problem I've got of trying to do things like that. So let T's and P's stabilise. To be fair, I need to go full prop RPM here as well. And again, you can see the issue that I was mentioning there about my throttles. So sometimes I have to just fiddle around a little bit and then let everything stabilise and reset again. Torque pressure on engine 1 is a bit lower, rather interestingly. So I can just manually tweak that. And then it is literally saying slowly add power, brakes off, power set to 50 torque, power set, and then V1 at 75 to 80 knots, climb and accelerate to 100. So, Rothera traffic, Penguin 165 is departing runway 36. Brakes off, and slowly add power towards 50. There we go. Climbing out about 100, which is now, and at 100 knots, flaps up, it says. So, away we go, guys. We're away. Awesome. And then it says at 500 foot, power back to 40 psi torque, so we can bring the throttle back a little bit. In fact, I've got a slight desynchronization, so I might have to tweak the props individually a little bit. And then it says props actually to 75%. So before I start doing that, I'm going to make a bit of a left turn here. Where's our heading bug? It's here, so I'm going to probably want to get this around to about 210, 180, I think. And we're going to bring the prop RPM back down to about 75, I think it is. I don't know why I went the long way around with the heading bug. I like to make life difficult. We could do autopilot on. And initially we could look at, I don't know, 6,000 feet, I guess. 1,200 foot per minute. There's Rothera down below there. And we can then do prop lever. So for this, I've set a bit of a keybind here that takes me down straight in the centre, and you want to bring it back. There's a stop there. You actually want to bring it back to just before the stop. And then the prop RPM, you can see there, it's still at like 85, 90, so we could probably come back a little bit more. So it's all about sort of just careful engine management, I think. There's 75 and 75 for the prop percent RPMs. And you could hear the torque and the sort of the engine noise change as well, which is really quite nice. I should probably go to heading mode at this point. Here's a question. Let's see if nav comes on. Where we go, Antarctica. First time flying live around here. And it says when in cruise we can turn the landing lights and everything like that off as well, which is quite cool. William, Honeycomb Bravo should be fantastic with the Twin Otter. Mikhail, hello to you. Most crazy week in a while. Same for me, actually. It's been particularly busy and fairly difficult as well, I think. Thomas, Penguin. Penguin 165 is our call sign. We've got no nav mode here. There's our little trim in motion sign. I think we go to about 8,000 feet. I'm trying to remember with the Bendix King how we can actually activate the GPS. No, it's not nav 1. Is it ICS? No. I can't remember, but it's fine. We can just enjoy, get that yaw damper on as well. We can enjoy our sort of climb out. We're going to turn left here. Eddie, getting a lot of jitter with your rudder with your Thrustmaster. Do I need to install the software to calibrate it? No, so if it's a Microsoft Flight Simulator, what I would recommend is probably just going out towards into the menu itself, where we were just probably about 10 minutes ago, and I would probably recommend just changing the sensitivities. CDI settings on nav. Oh yeah, GPS, of course it is. Could be working. Well, I've got the red nav flag though, that's the only thing, so it's almost as if it's not necessarily working. Let's have a look, see what it does here. In fact, it's active now by the looks of it. Will it turn us back around though? No, it's actually working. There we are. Actually fought to get us back on the line quite nicely, so now we can just enjoy the flight basically. M, thank you for subscribing. Just waiting on 007 now. Is this livery in the package, Goodman? Yes, it certainly is. This is one of the really beautiful variants, actually. Uber's on, switch to nav mode now. There we are, I've got nav mode on at the moment. There you go, it's in V-lock. Press on the CDI till it says GPS. It's the same case on the DC6. Yeah, see on the DC6 I actually turned this off. the actual nav system, so I just fly to VORs and ADFs. I don't think I need nav 1 though, do I? Because I'm not really tuning an ILS or anything like that. But away we go. As Mathis is saying, 13 models and 13 different liveries with a paint kit as well, which is really useful. I'm hoping I can create a little Osprey regional livery kit, sort of livery for everybody to enjoy from our Discord server. So, I mean, we can argue that we're pretty much at a certain element of cruise at the moment. So it says, when in cruise, set 40 torque and you should have 75% on your prop RPM. So you can see here, actually, we need to bring that down again because it crept back to 50, which we don't want. We've got 40 on engine 2. And we can bring this back here to 40 for engine 1 as well. And then engine 1 and 2, the prop RPMs are still 75%. Landing and taxi lights can come off, so landing lights. And then up here in the overhead panel, if I use my custom view of Alt 2, taxi light, there we go, off. Boost pumps always remain on apparently, and then the rest of it can be done when we get closer to the arrival runway of Fossil Bluff, which is a really tiny, icy, snow-ridden, unprepared strip, which is going to be quite exciting. Do all variants come with all liveries or only when appropriate? So yeah, only when it's appropriate from what I understand at the moment. Do you guys want me to find out what the actual liveries and things are, the variants are for you guys? I can find out on the forum and I can throw them into live chat here if you wish. He says, scrolling through 80 pages of really excited people. Really looking forward to like this now, as somebody else just said in the live chat. 19th of January is penciled in for a release, and they're looking at, it was around about $30 I think, or 30 euros, sorry, from memory, which is really very nice. Lots of options. There's some beautiful Maldivian payware scenery which I'm in the process of trying to get. And on release day, I'm probably going to be using that, and then we're going to fly around the Maldives. We'll start at an actual sea base, which is going to be really exciting. So I'm slowly learning this as we go. There's a huge manual with loads of checklists, lots of information, some really nice, cool stories about real flights as well, which is quite nice. Look at that. $29.99 plus VAT apparently. So the 13, I can see 13 models on the forums. This looks like a good place to fly in the DC6 Baccasato. Absolutely, yes. So here we go, I found it. There's going to be 13 models, 13 liveries. We've got the Twin Otter -100 with floats. It's a floats passenger variant with West Coast Air, little Canadian airline. Some great little hops around Canada available in this as well. Again, the 100 variant with wheels, and a cargo version for the Norwegian Air Force. Another passenger wheels variant, which is I think it's the Chilean Air Force. There's a Viking Air amphibian passenger variant, which is the 300 variant of the Twin Otter, which has got a slightly more powerful engine and a few other bits as well. Trans-Maldivian float passenger Twin Otter version, and the Trans-Maldivian short nose floats passenger variant as well. So there's two different types of that, which is quite nice. The short nose is quite funny, it's very stubby looking. The ski cargo version, which we're in at the moment, which has got the British Antarctic Survey livery attached to it, which we're enjoying today. The Tundra wheels cargo, the Air Beyond, which is an Air Inuit livery, and the Norland Air Tundra wheels passenger version that we were in the other day for the little Glasgow to Barra around to Orkney. Live stream preview last week. We got two Aklak Air liveries as well. There's a 3-bladed prop wheels cargo 300 variant and a 4-bladed prop version of those, both with Aklak Air liveries. And then we've got the good old Shark livery skydiver version with Paris Valley skydiving as well, which is really nice. And then the final one, Solomon's Airlines, a 300 variant wheels passenger version as well. So they're all of the models and the liveries set in stone at the moment according to the forum, and beyond that as well there's a paint kit, so you can expect flightsim.to to go absolutely crazy, and a whole load of stunning liveries from all over the world, from Virtual Airlines to Osprey Regional, which we like to enjoy flying as a bit of a channel community call sign. And then loads of realistic ones as well, which is cool. Can you link the payware to the Maldives? I'll have to find it. Somebody sent it to me the other day, so do bear with me. I will dig it out and try and find it again. Where is it? It's on Sim Market. I haven't checked it out, so I don't know how good it is, I've got to say. There you are. That link is in the live stream description. Hendrik, hello to you. I've got a question. Could it be that the CLJ from Aerosoft doesn't need a lot of flare on landing? I often find myself in a kind of climb because because of that I land kind of late. So it's a bit of method to the madness, to be honest with that one. The structure of the Twin Otter, the CLJ, if we go out to this a little bit, imagine if this was a CLJ, you would see the tailplane, which is a T. Kayla, hello to you, welcome on board, thank you for hitting subscribe down below. But effectively, because of its location of the engines on the CLJ being at the rear with the T-tail, when you idle the throttle, it can push the nose down. And similarly, if you apply any throttle at the last second before you touch down for any reason, the inertia and the way that the runways, the engines are positioned on the tail of the CLJ actually pushes the nose up slightly. So you've got to be careful with that. But it doesn't need much floating. The key thing that I've learned when I'm flying in real life is you try and set your flare attitude and you hold it. So you try not to chase the flare too much, because you can make all these corrections. You can either float for too much, or you can end up sort of having quite a harsh landing, which can be known for. Logan Air Jurassic Lark, yeah, that's going to be good, isn't it? And Fly UK as well. We're airborne. I'll put the live streams screenshots today onto Volanta. We might have to watch our fuel, because I think I set in the world map fuel to be loaded up to max, but I can't remember if I actually double checked that. Matt check, awesome. You flying along today then? Is that you in the in that big blobby aeroplane? ABS Gaming, Twin Otter does look very nice. Did you say Viking now? Must have the plane. Good stuff. It's definitely worthwhile getting. It's a remarkable aeroplane for the sim. Really enjoyable as well, especially with sort of flights into Lukla and all that sort of thing. It's going to be really good fun. The Otter is quick, so yeah, it cruises at, I think it's at 290-ish kilometers an hour. I might have to Google that to see if I've been accurate with that random number I've thrown out. Twin Otter cruise speeds 278 kilometers an hour. So there we are. Pops around the Caribbean are going to be stunning in this as well. And of course, if you've got this Antarctic scenery, I wonder if I can show it on here. Let's see. So if you've got the Antarctic scenery, you've got all of this vast amount of space to go and explore with the Twin Otter as well. And you can see Fossil Bluff here, AQ80. Then even further south down here somewhere, it's not going to show up I don't think, is Sky Blue. But even beyond that, you've got all of this rendered into the scenery too. Lots of research stations and little animations dotted around for you to go and experiment to go and find. John, hello to you. Are we on live weather? No. So live weather down in Antarctic is quite tricky to find. So it was thick cloud and snow, which looked great. but I'm using Floyd's Epic Clouds again. Preset 6, and I've added a little bit of snow as well just to polish it all off, because Antarctica doesn't look the same without snow. It's a snowy landscape after all. Ian, hello to you as well, welcome. MPS Gaming, your flights around the Seychelles will be fantastic. There's some great airstrips actually as part of the FSDG Seychelles scenery for Microsoft Flight Simulator, so that's going to be really enjoyable to make use of. And William, yeah, that's all included with Rothera, so it's Volume 1, Rothera and Beyond, and it covers a vast area. Abandoned, welcome, thank you for subscribing. Alex Diddy as well subscribed 35 minutes ago, so thank you very much to you too. I can't remember if I welcomed you or not. If not, I do apologise for the delay. How long will it take for the Twin Otter to release on Xbox? Generic Pilot is asking. Now that's a good question. I'm not sure, so I wouldn't like to commit to an answer. I think they're potentially trying to get it done at the same time. I think the intention, from what I understand, is that it's going to go onto the marketplace at the same time that Aerosoft is going to release it properly on their own channels and things like that. So very exciting. I'm sure I've seen it put somewhere that it's going to be on Xbox. In fact, Mathis was on it was about 3 or 4 months ago, maybe perhaps a little bit longer as well. Mathis was on a thing with, I believe, Asobo, talking about how the Twin Otter is going to be really good for Xbox, but I might be mistaken. Blue, hello. Excellent idea for a flight in the Twin Otter. Such a nice and versatile aircraft. First time catching you live. Great stream as always. Thank you very much. Oh, there we go. So Mathis, thank you for clarifying that. So where's the question? Generic Pilot 1 asking how long will it take for the Twin Otter to release on Xbox. So no idea on the Xbox release. Mathis is saying it depends on Microsoft, and not at the same time though as well. We send it to Microsoft this week. So there you go. Thanks for clarifying that. The Antarctic scenery is very nice, Paul says. Yeah, it's remarkable, and it's so vast as well. It's so far away, and an alien landscape really, I think, to most of the rest of the sim environment. So it's really nice to be able to go and explore this in one of its own aircraft really, that fly around this region properly. And I think the red livery as well with this scenery does really stand out and look remarkable, doesn't it? What do you guys think of this livery? Wonderful, right? And I'm hoping you guys can notice that the sounds have been tweaked and improved since last week's stream as well. They're really working hard at polishing all the sounds at the moment. So beyond being shouted at for flying like an amateur by some real Twin Otter pilots and some avid serious simmers who know this aircraft inside and out, that's why I wanted to work through the checklist today, so you could hear the torque changes and the RPM changes as we were going through that startup procedure. Carlos is British AvGeek, but I think it's shortened, so British AVGK, I believe. There we are, in the middle of nowhere. Some big old clouds on our right hand side as well. Jurassic, I assume so, yeah. It's the ultimate contrast to the clean, sheer white of everything down below, isn't it? And I guess blue as well. Sky blue's great fun to fly into. If those of you thinking about the Antarctic scenery, haven't yet gone ahead and purchased it, Sky blue's fantastic. It's this big sheet of ice. It looks blue, hence the name, and you can land on it basically, and it'll be great fun with the ski variant of the Twin Otter here. These custom views, by the way, what I'm hoping to do is package them all up so that on release I can share them with you guys on flightsim.to if need be. Tom C is asking, is this a good aircraft? Remarkably good, yeah. It's for the price point of about 30 euros as well. It's really very nice. And by contrast, of course, the Aerosoft CRJ was about 50 euros, wasn't it, I think, from memory, so almost half the price. So there's going to be differences in realism between the two, but I've been reading the forums, and there's a lot of serious simmers saying that they're finding it a bit disappointing to hear that it's not going to be modelled like the Aerosoft Twin Otter extended version from X-Plane, I think. But I've got to say, I'm really enjoying this. It's forgiving for those of us who don't know how to fly it properly, like myself initially. But then as you learn the systems, you've got that depth as well. You've got the you can enjoy the prop changes, and you can feather unfeather the props and all that sort of stuff. So it's got this big open range. It's going to capture 90% of us that really enjoy simming, for whether it be just a bit of an amateur, just get in and fly and just enjoy it, or you're going to like that more serious side where you want to follow the checklists and you want to hear the change of pitch with the propeller and all that sort of stuff. Rothera, hello to you. Really good, thanks. I hope you're okay as well. Quite tired. 2 days of 4 hours sleep, but I'm over night shifts now. I'm on to days off for the next 2 days. Plus VAT when applicable, Rothera, as Mathis is pointing out there. So 30 euros plus VAT. $10 more and you get the Kodiak. Rothera is saying, yeah, you do, but they're both entirely different aircraft in themselves. And I don't think they can really be sort of fairly compared. This Twin Otter is an older aircraft and it's less modern. Plus it's a Twin Otter. The Kodiak, it seems to be very next gen. I think, if I'm right in thinking, it's got the Garmin G1000 cockpit and everything like that on board as well. So they're two entirely different aircraft in themselves, really. I think, in fairness, they complement one another. So if you guys want the ultimate sim hangar and you want the variety of lots of different types of aircraft, there's no reason why you couldn't have both, and you'd enjoy both as well. I think quite a lot. I'm noticing as well now on the texturing and stuff as well, you're getting these worn edges. So I'm starting to notice all these little things that I've not noticed in the past. Worn edges along the door frames. There was, I'm trying to think where it is now. There was a boot print. Is that it? Yes, there we go. There's a boot print on the dash next to these prop governor tests and all that sort of stuff. So let's see, I don't know if you can see it as clearly as I'm hoping, but it's here. There's a boot print here that's just ever so slightly imprinted on the front dash for that cool pilot that wears his aviators all the time. Does the Otter have floats too, Blue's asking? It certainly does, yeah. We're in the ski variant at the moment, Blue, but there's amphibious versions which are floats with wheels that can be extended and retracted, so you can use the floats or the wheels. There's the ski version here. We've got wheels, we've used that for departure, but of course you can deploy the skis if you wish as well, and make use of those. I think I just noticed a bit of icing on the windshield. Oh, yes, you know what? Mathis, thank you. Get that windshield heat on. We're going through this icing as well, this cloud, so I think we're going to make sure prop de-ice is on, intake anti-ice is on. Auto fast for the de-icer boots. I might do inner wing for a little while as well. Should probably put that on as well. Becky, where are we going? We're going to a place called Fossil Bluff down in Antarctica. It's pretty much in the middle of nowhere. There is a bit of ice on the windshield there, look at that. Jurassic, yeah, that's a good point. The Kodiak is like a Grand Caravan, and that's probably what I would compare it to be honest, the C208. Well, that's a lot of icing. Chris lived on the Caribbean for 16 years, flew on the Twin Otter all the time between St. Croix and St. Thomas. Looking forward to getting your hands on the aircraft. That's going to be really good then. You're going to be able to replicate all those flights you've done in the past and really sort of get the immersion from it. Check your wings. So I've had the de-icers on since we departed, so I'm hoping we're not going to get any ice on the wings, but let's have a little look. We'll use drone cam. We're looking okay at the moment. Hello QWed, hello. It's 19th of January it's scheduled to be released. Penciled in at least to be released. What's this cloud base at, do we think, guys? I'm thinking maybe 6,000 feet. Do we climb above this big ridge? I think we might try and climb. We'll just do a gentle climb, I think. So someone was asking about why the yoke and stuff aren't moving. We've got autopilot on at the moment, but also live weather isn't really much of a factor down here. The sim goes uber strange with it, so we're using Floyd's Epic Clouds, which is a freeware thing on flightsim.to. It basically means the wind's 2 knots. Here we go, Matthew, resident CRJ pilots. Hello to you, I hope you're well. Good morning to you over in the States. Who knows the difference between anti-icing and de-icing? De-icing is when it's too late. And it's you're trying to get it all off. Anti-icing is preventing it in the first place, being, I guess, a good pilot. I feel like this cloud's sort of gone up almost to match us. Game Squad, hello. William, do you think you'll do a stream with the Twin Otter in the FSDG Seychelles? So that was one of the options actually that I was going to consider for today. However, I'm waiting for that beautiful Air Seychelles livery on the Twin Otter as well, post-release. So I'm hoping somebody gets one painted up really quickly, and we're then going to dive straight over to the Seychelles to do some stunning hops around there. It's a great region inside the sim. I think we might level off at 9. Two different answers, Gridman, indeed. I don't think I'm correct. That's a very generic answer from me. Our first leg takes us past a monitoring station, so I might try and drop down to 6,000, I think, shortly. It can be very mountainous though, that's the only thing with Antarctica, so I don't want to get into the sort of Arctic glacial mountainous ridge further down here and end up having to climb. McStars, hello to you as well. Good afternoon, I hope you're well. Thanks for joining us today. Hope you're enjoying the live stream. Don't forget, guys, to smash the like button if you are enjoying it today. And we can then look at potentially planning some more with the Totter as well. This plane and most props have de-icing, Yeah, so at the moment we've got the de-icing boots on the wings switched on, and we've got prop de-ice on, and of course pitot heat as well, because we don't want that to ice up. Jim, wading in, saying that de-icing and removal of ice with a chemical, and similar to Rothera then actually, and anti-icing is the prevention of ice using heat. This is the cargo version as well, and as Mathis pointed out, we've got a little bit of a nod to James Bond. On the previous live stream preview we did, we're off dropping this bit of cargo across Antarctica to Dr. No Laboratories. Ah, custom view. Look at that. Hello QEd, why are we not flying live weather? Because we're in Antarctica, so there isn't really... I don't think the sim understands what live weather is like down here. So it's quite wild. I don't think you can get a METAR for Fossil Bluff either, come to think of it. Matthew, definitely need to jump back into the CRJ the other day. The other day I was at work and we saw Scandinavian CRJ drop in with the older sort of livery, and it looked so good. We get the Lufthansa one coming to Heathrow quite regularly as well, which is very nice. But I saw it taxi in, took a picture of it, put it onto the in real life pictures area within our Discord server, and instantly thought to myself, I haven't flown the CRJ for a little while, as in a week. Yeah, so Rothera, that's kind of the part of the problem really. So you can go ahead and you can tweak the weather if you like, but that's what I've got set at the moment. Floyd's Epic Clouds from flightsim.to, that freeware cloud mod. And you can see there, temperature's -10. I've just left the pressure QNH 1013 because why not? And then I've just done 10 centimeters of snow because the scenery is really nice anyway at the best of times. All the liveries are really high quality in this as well. MPS Gaming AQ80 Fossil Bluff doesn't exist in MSFS, not in my game, it's only with the payware scenery, correct. Most of it actually is only in the Aerosoft scenery, so I think only British Rothera exists otherwise. I think we might potentially descend a little bit just to try and get out of this cloud here. I reckon that tops is about 1,000 below. And I need to bring that power setting back to, is it 40? Engine 2 needs to come back. There we are, lovely stuff. I'm really looking forward to getting the Turtle Beach Velocity 1. I'm going to do a little unboxing and review and things like that for you guys to see what that looks like as well. It's new from Turtle Beach. I think it's their first bit of hardware for flight simulation as well, which is really exciting, but it looks wonderful. And there's this huge customizable panel as well, so I'm hoping I can set up my own little profile for the Twin Otter, the CRJ and all that sort of stuff, and flick between the 3-4 different profiles. Rothera asking, are the tyres slanted in to keep the plane on centre? That's the suspension of the Twin Otter, if I'm not mistaken. Matthew, the CRJ 900 looks good with the EEP angled out winglets, doesn't it? Yeah, absolutely. That's how you can tell the difference between most 900s and the absolute oldest 900s. The old ones have got the same winglets as the 700, which are much more vertical. Every time I see one, I think I want to fly on it as a passenger just to experience it, just to see what it's like. Yeah, so Theo's asking about the tyres. Let's see if we can maybe find what they were honing in on. There we go. So kind of like that, isn't it? Now that's the suspension design of the Twin Otter. So as the aeroplane touches down, the wheel struts they basically flex. That's the suspension arm, and it'll even out basically as the weight of the aircraft is transferred onto the ground. It's one of the unique design features of the Twin Otter, I believe. Davinaris, hello to you. Kalispera. So what are you guys thinking so far? Those of you who watched my live stream preview last week where we flew around Scotland, which is utterly stunning. It was great. Great fun as well. Loads of people joined us for that, which is fantastic. But in that week we've had sound improvements and all these little improvements and tweaks. And what do you guys think? I'd be interested to know what you guys think of it, having seen previous week's stream compared to this one. Oh, Jurassic, that'd be great, wouldn't it? That'd be so good. Hopefully it's something Asobo could do in the future. I would imagine very quickly there's going to be some wild and wacky mods that will paint over the cargo box inside the back of this aeroplane and all that sort of stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. I've been playing around actually. I've tweaked one of the passenger variants that we used the other day, the Norland Air. I took the texture file out and I've tweaked it to sort of almost create like an Osprey Regional Airlines emergency exits card, which is quite cool. Tamanara shared better prop animation. Yeah, that's improved as well. William's asking, are the ropes attached to the float model? I don't believe so, but next week on release day, I'm hoping that's where we're going to be going. We're going to go into the Maldivian float variant, so who knows. Ronald, what a lovely aircraft, great for flying in this sim. Yeah, it's wonderful to use, it's really nice. The Sledge, hello, good afternoon, how are you? Hope you're okay. God, these clouds, awful. William, what a beauty. Yeah, let me bring, I'll show you guys the cargo hold. There you go, that's what the entirety of the cargo area of the cabin looks like at the moment. Complete with BCF fire extinguisher. Loads of nice little decals there as well for the emergency exits. And of course we've got the emergency exit down at the back here, or the main sort of exit. There's the Halon BCF extinguisher. Not that you'd ever want to use it. And then the rear doors here for this particular variant. And that's what it looks like from the rear looking forwards. Nicodem, hello to you. Welcome aboard and thank you very much for subscribing. John, no, the PMS GTN 750 sadly is not going to be compatible, but I'm led to believe, from what I understand, that it is going to work with the 2D panel. So, in fact, I'm not sure if I've updated it. Let's find out. Either about to get a crash to desktop or not sure. I've never used this 2D box. Apparently this works. It does, there you go. So you could, brilliant. You can use the external one here. There's the monitor station that we're going to go via first, traverse mountains. And you can see all the terrain, which is why we've climbed up to 8,000 at the moment at least. And then Fossil Bluff is down here. So you can use the 2D panel for the GTN 750. You can see our progress so far. Straight over this vast bit of water, but now we're going to be landlocked for the remainder over the glacial landscape down below. Yeah, you know what, actually, yeah, you can use this 2D panel. Very good. Halon fire extinguisher is very realistic indeed, yeah, love it. And a first aid kit as well. ICAO recommended, of course. So once we get through this, it looks like we're losing a bit of the cloud, so we're going to be able to see a bit more of the landscape down below, I'm hoping. There's like sort of GoPro style camera view that I like every now and again. We're going to be able to then read the landscape and see if we can potentially descend by a couple of thousand feet, just to get a bit more from the landscape below, I think. Sledge is interesting, this one. It is really enjoyable, I've got to say. I think if you've got a bit of a better throttle than what I've got, where you can control both of the props independently of one another, I think it's going to be more enjoyable, because you're going to be able to tweak the throttle inputs a bit easier than like I'm doing today with just sort of single arm, and then having to tweak them with my mouse. Ronald, hail on fire extinguishers and I C-17s in real life. I think it's the best version at the moment that they've got for the aviation industry to put out fires on board aircraft, from what I understand. Michael, wow, there's a mod that forces the 750 to actually work in aircraft too. Interesting, yeah, so if that gets updated to include the twotter, that'd be rather exciting. I think we can drop down. I think these are the sort of highs of the peaks at the moment within the glacial landscape, so yeah, we've got on the right hand side as well, and we can then probably get out of the cloud, let's face it. So we'll go down to, I don't know, should we do, we'll do 6 as a target. We'll do 800 foot per minute, and I'm just going to let the airspeed creep up. As long as it doesn't go over 170, it should be fine. It's the Flying Fabio. Hello to you, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Very much enjoyed your little Solomon Air stream the other day on Twitch. John saying, I think it's JD who mods the panels. Absolutely no, absolutely no idea who that is, but yeah, great. If that does come about, then that's going to be really good, because I very much enjoy that inside the PA-28, GTN 750 stuff. But as Mathis has said there, he said he's going to check on the 750. It's not intended to be supported on release or anything like that, but who knows. The mod community inside Flight Sim is remarkable at the best of times anyway, so I'm hoping it will get modded quite quickly in any case. Love the detail on this model, it's great. In fact, we're getting icing on the windows on the side of the aircraft now as well, if you can just about see that here. We've got Flight Sim Royalty joining us with Flying Fabio tuning in. If you didn't see his stream with the Twin Otter, I think it was about 3 days ago, I think, off the top of my head, I can't remember now, over on Twitch, then do check it out. There we are, we're into this descent now. And that is the landscape around us. That's all we've got, basically. And there is a monitoring station somewhere down below. It could well be that tiny little blip over there. Who knows? There we are, look at that. Mathis is just saying there that weeks were spent on the icing model itself, and it shows. It's been really nice actually seeing it all in action today. We've had windshield icing, we've now got icing around the edges of the cabin, which is really cool. We've had the anti-ice, or the de-icer, sorry, on the entire time for the wings and the props. Tavanaris, on the Windows view, can you extend the flaps? I want to see the joints animation, please. Yeah, so what view is that? I think it's 6 or 7. 5, right, remind me. Just going to bring the speed down a bit. I'm probably going to be shouted at for not doing a deceleration correctly. I'm just going to bring the speed to about 120. Alex just got back to Microsoft Flight Simulator, having spent some time on X-Plane 11. Played for 4 to 6 months after release before you got sick of Sobo. Yeah, I think you know your frustrations are shared by quite a few people, aren't they? But now you're back and it's great, so that's good to hear. Personally, I never got to the stage where I got fed up with it. I sort of just decided to persevere with it. Just stuck with having one simulator, and that was it. Okay, so I mean that speed's going to bleed off really quickly in a minute because we're going to level off at 6,000. So I'm going to let the I'll let the speed stabilise first with the attitude change in a second. Then I'll put the flaps in as requested, Tavanaris. Okay, so levelling off. Just Jace, spend a lot of time using the Antarctica Volume 1 pack. It's really good, looking forward to Volume 2. I've still barely scratched the surface with exploration with this. Okay, I think that's going to be good. Maybe a little bit more power, but we'll go with that. So Tavanaris, I hope you're ready. You want the view. There's flaps 10. Look at those arms move. Remarkable, isn't it? And then flaps back to 0 again. There's the actuator. How nice is that? Let's get that power set again. Back to 40. I need to bring prop 2 back a little bit there because it's over-reading compared to the left engine. There we go. And we'll let that speed creep back up again, I think. There is a monitoring station coming up. I reckon we could go to 5,000. Can't see it. It's on the nose somewhere. I don't think we will see it. But imagine flying out here. I think you'd quickly realise that if anything went wrong, you're very much on your own. And it's very unforgiving. But it is something remarkable, like 10,000 square miles or square kilometres of scenery, basically. Lots of little research stations, monitoring stations and things all added in. William, so the wipers don't react with precipitation, no, at the moment. Look at that. Let me turn those lights on for you so you can see it against the contrast of the there we are, of everything behind. Yeah, from what I understand, no aircraft in the sim at the moment can actually wipe rain off the windscreen. And I think I remember reading a little while ago, potentially by PMDG, they said that the rain actually seemed to fall on the inside of the pane in the sim for some reason. So until Asobo fixes that, I assume we'll have to wait for that. Tavanaris, any thoughts on the guy who jumped from the plane just for the YouTube views? I think he should be prosecuted. It was clearly staged, absolutely clearly staged, and quite a disgrace, to be honest. That sort of stuff in aviation is never wanted, nor should ever be acceptable. We've still got a little while to go until the monitoring station, so we're looking out for it. I don't want to go any lower because you can see here that we've got all these different ridges and things. And it will be sod's law. I'll get down to, I don't know, 4,000 feet. But then just because everything's white and it's all just glacial, you can descend down to 4,000. And whilst it looks okay here, we'll get down to 4,000 and all of a sudden some of these peaks will be above us. And there you go. So as Mathis is saying, windows at the moment are 2D structures without any thickness. So hence why the windscreens wipers don't do anything on any aircraft. But if it was to ever change in any simulator, it would be Microsoft Flight Simulator. To think how far this has come since release in August 2020, it's quite remarkable, isn't it? There's been a few times, Sim Update 5 is a prime marker, I guess. There's been a couple of times where I've just thought, you know what, I'm struggling to deal with MSFS and all its updates. That's the only time I've had problems with it. But in the main, 99% of the time, I absolutely love this simulator. It's great fun. The aircraft add-ons for it now are really coming into their own as well. 2022, we've got some great, exciting stuff coming through to this simulator. So for me, there's no reason to change. Yeah, I'd like to think the NTSB are going to potentially throw the book at him, and perhaps if there's any federal issues with, I don't know, the FBI, does it work like that in the States? It's just so desolate. Rothera, the simulator's definitely come far since release, yeah. God, so imagine, on release we were flying around in just a default A320. And it took off at like 80 knots, I think I remember. And the do you remember the 787 as well on release? The Dreamliner's nose lifted at 100 knots. And now we've come so far away. Jerry, as for the video leak, as a customer I have to be thankful. Would Aerosoft have started a video promo before release? You never know, now we've got it. So it's not a leak as such. We've got permission from Aerosoft to sort of do the video content basically. Which is really nice because it's been in progress for quite a few months. And it's been nice to see it develop as the sounds and everything getting tweaked and improved, and the engine models and the way the aeroplane handles. It's improved remarkably over the last few months. And this isn't a port from other simulators. I think I remember Mathis saying that 90 or 90 something % of this aircraft has been created from the ground up purely for Microsoft Flight Simulator. There's a research station down here somewhere. And I am looking out for it, but we might be a bit too high up. If we look out to this side of the aircraft as well, there's a big sort of glacial ridge here. Fossil Bluff is through that ridge. So we're going to go over this research station first, which I feel like could be this thing here coming up. I don't know. It's one of those things, you end up not seeing it when you look hard for it. Definitely here somewhere. William, think I'm sold on Antarctica in addition to the Twin Otter. It's a great landscape to go and explore with the Twin Otter. It's made for it, really. Sim Update 5 was a good learning point for the team on how not to do certain things, but they've learned, Rothera is saying there. And you know what? I think you've summed that up really nicely. I think they recognised with that update that it went a bit wrong. Oh, look at that. Shadow. Oh, where'd it go? I know we've got cloud above. It's going to pop out again any second, I'm sure. I think I've got it. Still a ways to go though, especially with the CL650 release for X-Plane 11 raising the bar as much as it did yesterday. Yeah, I mean, that's quite remarkable, isn't it? I did see it. I'm not a fan of bizjets though. So I'm not sure if it was anything I would ever have myself, to be totally honest. But it does look remarkable. Could be the most realistic aircraft ever for any simulator, potentially. Havana is saying that Asobo owes fly-by-wire and Aerosoft, because of those developers, mostly, the simulator is alive. So apparently we've passed the research station. I've got no idea if we have, because I can't see it. But I'll trust the instruments. It's definitely down there somewhere. Probably covered in snow. There we go. Jurassic getting triggered. I was looking for the research station. So now our track, our flight path is going to take us, I definitely couldn't descend any lower than this, to be honest. So there's that visual optical illusion almost with the white that we were talking about earlier. If I dropped to 4,000 feet, we'd have to climb again to avoid that, I would imagine. But now we're heading into this sort of big open valley, if you like, this big glacial valley towards Fossil Bluff. Elliot's saying, I remember when the simulator first came out, my PC could only run it at 20 frames per second. Yeah, it's been optimised remarkably since, isn't it? Rothera, the CL650 is at $114. Better raise the bar at that price. That is quite a lot of money, but if you want that sort of experience from your simulator, I guess sometimes you've got to pay the good money for it. Shadow's getting closer and closer. Yeah, definitely. The land is definitely coming up to meet us, isn't it? Can you land at the research station? We could, but I don't know where it is. I think we're going to pass this mountain at about 500 feet, to be honest. 500 feet to 1,000 feet, perhaps. Fossil Bluff, William, is basically a bit of a research station in itself. It's a couple of tents and some cones that demark a bit of a strip on the ice that we can land on. I'm going to overfly it first to work out if I want to use skis or not. And if we do, we'll have to drop them down like I've just done at the moment, although they don't seem to be coming down at the moment. Jurassic record's 2 feet. Don't say that. I think we're okay. Hendrik, will you do a fully controlled airport stream again sometime? I'm still unsure whether I'm capable of flying on VATSIM. I'm sure you'll be absolutely fine. I do want to do another controlling session, absolutely. The issue I've had is I wanted it to be the new Pilot Plus Bristol a few months ago, and then VATSIM changed the requirements at Bristol, which meant that if you were a ground controller you had to also manage delivery. And when I'm streaming, I just can't do 2 roles at the same time. It's too busy. So I'm having to think about another airport. I might do Glasgow with the new Pyreek Devco scenery, because that's quite nice. So I might go and do a controlling session at Glasgow. But again, it's organising now as we're going into this post-COVID world, organising what controllers can do what, really, and making sure that we're all booked in on the same thing together. Oh, look at that. Just so desolate, barren. Rothera is saying X-Plane 12 looks like a bit of an update, a big improvement. The graphics are not that impressive. There's no need for photogrammetry, but an upgrade would be nice. Yeah, I think Asobo have done a remarkable job anyway with the way that the Bing data gets rendered into the sim at the best of times, and then we've also got things like the Orbex mesh and this, like the massive Antarctic scenery from the likes of Aerosoft. that make it quite remarkable. John, wow. Heard rumour that X-Plane 12 has got trees that blow in the wind. Now that's quite cool, if that's the case. Absolutely good one. It's, yeah, it's its natural habitat almost, isn't it, for the Twin Otter? These wild yet remote sort of locations. Now we're going direct to Fossil Bluff. So that is, I think from memory, over the other side of this valley. So once we get over this ridge, we'll probably descend down to about 3,000 or 2,000 feet. Jurassic hadn't been on VATSIM in months. Controller appeared on my flight in New Zealand. When it came to doing the readback, I forgot what was meant to do, and I just said, "Aye, mate, that sounds amazing." You got to own it sometimes. If you do make a mistake, it's absolutely fine on the VATSIM network. It's just how you deal with it, I think. Matthew, that would be great, wouldn't it? A Sobo's environment with X-Planes physics, the ultimate sim. See, I don't think the physics are too bad in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I think it's just the infancy of it. The add-ons up to now haven't really had that that detail added into it. But I think it's working really nicely now. I mean, the Just Flight PA-28 is really nice. The Twin Otter pilots that are helping test this have said the flight physics of this are remarkably good as well. And they're trying to get the sounds to be exactly as realistic as they can possibly be. What do you reckon? Now, we're heading straight towards that peak, I think. I think we're just going to slightly to the right-hand side of that. We're going to have to monitor it, though, as we go. Great cockpit. Oh, Rothera, a new military flight sim, potentially going to be released as a competitor for DCS apparently. What do you know? Spill the beans, tell us all. That's going to be fantastic. I would love to try DCS, but I find that it's just wildly expensive. I think we priced it up on Discord. We were talking about it a little while ago, and I think it came to something remarkable like £3,500, and that was with everything added as a complete bundle with 50% off. And Flight Sim is expensive enough as it is. Thankfully there's no trees in Antarctica, John, so we're okay there. Alex van der Pa, hello to you. Oh yeah, we're going straight over this, so I definitely can't descend just yet. "63 nautical miles apparently until a form of approach is due." Jurassic saying, when it comes down to it, it's about the price point for me. The Just Flight Arrow, the CRJ and this Twin Otter are all pretty much at the top end of what I could justify. The PMDG stuff sounds great, but it's just too expensive. So this is a perfect price point, I think, for a lot of people, and it keeps it accessible to a lot of people as well. So we can, if you've got a shorter budget, a tighter budget for flight sim, and you're looking for the great, some fantastic aircraft to be able to enjoy, then things like this are an absolute must for flight simulation. PMDG wise, I really like it, and I think the value of it is quite remarkable as well, with the amount of detail that goes into it. But again, I think it depends on what you want to get out of your own simulator experience as well. I'm going to have to dust out the descent checklist. Bear with me. Let's have a little look at some of these items. We're not quite ready for it yet, but landing and approach. It says so. Power to 10 torque for descent. Landing light, taxi light on. When below 100 knots, begin to add flaps. Approach speed 80 knots. Flaps 20, flaps 30, and then 75 knots full flap. After landing, flaps up, taxi lights off. Taxi is realistic with how she leans over when you turn. And that's from a real Twin Otter pilot that's helping basically develop and test the Twotter by Aerosoft, which is really nice to see. And then we've got some shutdown checks to go through, which are short and sweet. John, yeah, all you want is some blue fire trucks at Birmingham. Don't think you'll ever get them though. Let's see. I'll try and find some decent little landscape up in the distance for some screenshots. Oh, William, the Just Flight Hawk is great fun. I'm not playing that for a couple of weeks either, to be honest. Yeah, Mathis makes a great point actually as well. People tend to collect aircraft within flight simulation. And that's another thing, isn't it? If you've got a budget to stick to, then get what you want to fly the most. I'll be honest, I've said it before as well. I was never sure about the CRJ pre-release for that. I was always very much of one of those simmers that was the bigger the better. I always wanted the A320 in my head was the smallest thing that I was ever going to fly as a bit of an airliner in flight sim. But when the CRJ came out and I gave it a go, it blew me away, and that's still now my favourite aircraft in the sim, and I try and use it as much as possible because I genuinely really enjoy it, and I love the system depth and the sort of learning curve that came with it as well. It's a lot more hands-on, and I feel like I get a lot more back from that aircraft. So whilst I've got quite a few aircraft in the hangar, I always end up using the same 2 or 3 effectively. We're clear of that ridge. Let's drop down. You can buy the PMDG DC6 and you'll need at least 200 hours to understand it fully. More than that for me. I'm really struggling with the DC6. I need all of the assistance on. Alex van der Paar's got 3 aircraft, Zebo, SSG 748 and the Tillis A321, that's it. Ronald's saying, for sure the CRJ is an amazing aircraft, the pilot's playing for sure, yeah. And you know what, you've got to think really far ahead of it. So the A320 is a remarkable aeroplane and it's really enjoyable to fly, but it is very, very much, you put your flight plan in, you take off, you hit autopilot on, leave it in the climb gate and away you go. And whilst that is, you know, it's great anyway and the best of times, having to think 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes ahead of the CRJ, manage the throttles the entire time, think about what the aeroplane's doing, configure it for whatever situation you're in, whether you climb, descent, approach, you get a lot more back from that sort of add-on. So I think if you were going to be buying any aircraft add-on for the sim and you wanted an airliner, then all day long, by a long stretch, try the CRJ. It is a steep learning curve, as Ian said. Ian hated the CRJ when he first started with it, but now he loves it and he's still got loads to learn on it. And that's the beauty of aircraft add-ons that work really well. And I can still learn quite a bit. Mark, hello, good afternoon. Flying Fabio, about the DC6, maybe we could collab and I could show you a couple of things I've learned. That would be fantastic. I tend to leave everything on, all of the assistance settings on, and then just sort of go from there, really. Matchuk's on approach to Hamburg. Got to remember the frequency. Which frequency? The VOR, the ILS, or the approach controller? Matthew, the CRJ makes you a better pilot. You would say that. You fly them for real. I think I agree. You've got to. There's a lot of anticipation involved in it, isn't there? And I think you're less at risk of complacency flying the CRJ than you are an A320 as well. Lee, Happy New Year to you. Good afternoon as well. I hope you're well. Gridham, Lila, Panzerfire, you fly everything in just a few minutes. The basics of flying never change, do they? You know, lift, suck, squeeze, bang, blow. Elevators, ailerons, rudder. All the basics are always the same. It's the nuances and the niches and things like that that make it quite difficult. Oh yeah, the DC6 is a 3-person crew. For those people that manage to smash it inside Flight Sim, that blows my mind. It's so much to manage for one person. Bakazato's flown the DC6 for at least over 300 plus hours now, still love it. Still didn't master the VOR navigation, but at least now you know the basics. Mark, wow, afternoon matey, I've still got the CRJ. Has it been a year yet? When was it released? March, I think, wasn't it? March or April last year. Yeah, as Lee's saying, best aircraft for the for MSFS by a country mile, the CRJ. Yeah, and I'm really enjoying the 900 and 1000 expansion packs as well. Ah, there we go. Mark sums up flying perfectly. If the houses get smaller, pull up. If the houses get bigger, push down. Flight training done. Yeah, and then you move the thing there that makes the plane go quicker or slower. Taranarisk asking about checklists. So I think Matthew is probably going to say something like, it depends on the airline, because they're all going to have a nuance to their own checklists based upon what they want from the pilots. I think we can go down to 2000, because I'm pretty sure this is flat for the remainder. Likes to shout at me a lot, doesn't it? Jurassic's in the mood to fly the CRJ now. I'm going to be doing a stream with the new Ljubljana at MSFS. I can't remember what it's called. I think Scenery Design Group or something like that. But it looks remarkable. We're chatting about it with a couple of people in the club lounge on Discord last night throughout my night shift. And it's going to be great for some Adria ops in the CRJ, so we're going to be looking forward to that in the near future as well. Hendrik purchased the CRJ pack a few weeks ago. It's an absolute blast of an aircraft. It's great, but a lot to learn. Yeah, absolutely a lot to learn. You know, it gives you something to really enjoy and focus on within flight simulation, doesn't it? Captain Joe does some great real-world VOR navigation videos. Highly recommend. You see, Matthew's going to come in and say no to that because he wears his pilot shirt. Just Jace flew the CRJ 1000 from Iceland to Argentina. Took you 2 weeks in real life. Wow. And you've replicated that in the sim. Am I correct in thinking that? That's a remarkable journey. David, thank you very much. I hope you're well, by the way. Thanks for joining us. Flying Fabio and British Amp Dream Team. I don't think I can quite be held in the same regard as Flying Fabio, to be honest. And Simon Woods, good afternoon to you. Welcome. Hope you're enjoying today's stream of the Antarctic flight with the Twin Otter preview. Now, Fossil Bluff is... Ooh, it's been a long time since I've flown on this landscape. I think it is that ridge that's dead centre of the screen there. I think it's that coming up. Yeah, I think that is... It's got to be that coming up, isn't it? Effectively, you don't see it until you're on it. And I think it's about here somewhere. You've got to pretty much fly over it, and then you spot it lurking down below. You can very easily miss it if you're not looking out for it as well. Not in the same regard, I've seen you in that Warrior. Come on. I'm still learning the Warrior, of course. And my next flying lesson's in a couple of weeks, actually, but I think I've got to cancel my next one because I've had my one of my days off cancelled with short notice. Russ asking, are you landing at the South Pole? So not far from it, to be honest, I don't think. Where's Volanta? I'll show you guys where we are at the moment in the world. That is Earth. There's beautiful South America. Fantastic to fly around inside the sim if you've not experienced that already so far. And then over the Drake Passage we've got British Rothera, where we've departed today. Got a couple of screenshots thrown onto Volanta as well through the journey today. What else have we got? So they're all available on Volanta. We've gone straight down to the west of the Larsen Ice Shelf, over a research station that's sort of here somewhere where that little kink in the turn is, and now we're heading towards Fossil Bluff, and it literally is here somewhere within the George VI Ice Shelf. But even Volanta doesn't recognise anything. But that is Antarctica, just this barren Arctic landscape. Everything here actually on the screen at the moment that I can see, there we go, Abbott Ice Shelf, yeah, so everything here in this little section is included in the Aerosoft British Rothera and Beyond scenery. So it is a huge, huge area for you to go and explore and enjoy, and you could be doing it for months and you still won't have achieved and found everything. Simon's really impressed with Aerosoft's timing. 19th is payday for you, fantastic. Getting close to cross country, David's asking. Yes, so potentially not the next lesson, but the one after. It's going to be cross country for me. Mark, heard you're flying me down south. If you're working, best get on the company plane. Jurassic, that's a good question. I'm not sure I've got the answer to that, to be honest. If Mathis is still hanging around, perhaps there's going to be a volume 2. I'm not sure. Fabio's dad's currently flying the DC6 on the Aerosoft Around the World trip. Calls me after every flight to talk about what he saw, how it went, etc. And in fact, there's a part of the forum, I'm going to find the link to that actually, because I've been reading it every now and again. The 80 Days Around the World event is going on at the moment within Aerosoft's forum, going from 23rd of December to the 24th of March. And the pilots are, or the people who are taking part in it, are basically asked to highlight a diary, create their own diary for their log as they go around the world. So there's a link in the live stream chat. If you click that, you'll see a couple of the examples of some of the pilot trips in different simulators. Elliot likes to fly the small, finicky aircraft. Big airliners with fly-by-wire scare you. So a lot of it is based on automation, Elliot. So if you want to start on an airliner, probably the best one to start on is the Airbus A320, because you just... Wow, Mark, are you already there? Down in the Falklands. I expect pictures of penguins and things. If they have penguins in the Falklands, I think so. I'm still amazed that there's World War II era aircraft still operating somewhere in the world. One of them being Buffalo Airways, still operating their Curtiss C-46 Commandos. I mean, it must cost them a fortune, surely. just printing money to keep some of these aircraft alive, I think. Flight Sim 101, are you in an ice runway in Antarctica? Yes, so down below us somewhere here is Fossil Bluff. Apparently it's dead ahead of us somewhere. So somewhere down here is basically an icy strip. Looking forward to the PMTG 737 Matchuk, but I've got to learn it. It's going to be another steep learning curve, I think. Just Jace has done the CRJ 700 from Northern Australia to Greenland. It's took 2 to 3 weeks, but the scenery was amazing. There are some remarkable parts of Microsoft Flight Simulator, has to be said. One of my favourite areas, my favourite regions to go fly around at the moment is sort of Chile, South America, that sort of place, part of the world. South America is beautiful in the sim. A lot of Chile and Peru is just stunning, remarkably nice. And the Greek islands, they never get boring. By the way, next week, one of the streams is going to cover the Aerosoft release for the Twin Otter, so we're going to put something together probably around the Seychelles or the Maldives, most likely the Maldives, with the float variant, hopefully, if all goes to plan. And I'm hoping loads of you guys can join me for that, so we can go and enjoy the Twin Otter together on release day. We'll see how it goes and what time the release is due to be and things like that as well. We're not sure when it's going to actually drop. Hopefully in the morning, then you guys can join me. The stream, one of the streams on the weekend coming up, is going to focus on the new Ljubljana scenery we were talking about earlier on. It was released about a week ago, I think, 3rd of January, I believe, by a new developer. And they've basically offered us a dedicated promotion code, so if you want to purchase their scenery from Sim Market for yourself, we're going to run a 50% off code just for subscribers. You guys watching at home, wherever you are in the world, you'll be able to get 50% off with a special promo code for their scenery for Ljubljana in Microsoft Flight Simulator. And they've got a VDGS system as well, which recognises what aircraft that you're in, and it will then guide you to that stop line on the stand as you taxi in, which is quite cool. Apparently, we're on it. Oh, I know where it is. He says with conviction as he looks around, I feel like it's here somewhere. "17 nautical miles. The Maldives scenery is pretty bad. So with the payware version, oh, Mark, not good. There'll be plenty more to come back when you return in 6 months' time, of course. We'll have to do something special for you. We'll let you choose what we do when you do return for your first flight back with us. Elliot's exploring Alaska in the Bell 47. Bought the Alaska mesh, and it's pretty amazing. It's good to hear. I've not got the Alaska mesh. I've got Orbex's Iceland and New Zealand, and they're both stunning. So perhaps I'll splash out and get the Alaska mesh as well. I do need to do some more flights around Alaska, has to be said. Need to do a bit more around South America as well. South Africa. Simon. Trans-Maldivian's Twin Otter delivery reminds him of the plane from Animal Crossing. Actually, you're not wrong, are you? Let's find a picture. Right, I found one. Here we go. It is literally, yeah, that's the Trans-Maldivian livery right there. Look at that. Great shout. Fergus, once the twatter comes out, I'm going to be flying all around Arctic Canada for the next solid 2 months. You're going to be doing the Air Inuit hops then, by any chance? Is it Air Inuit? They do all the little ones around the top of, like the Labrador Sea and things, don't they? I need to do more helicopter flights. Elliot's saying that he's bought the Bell 47. Yeah, I do need to do some more helicopter flights. Okavanga Delta for generic pilot. Wow, there we go. That's throwing out a good one. Right, I know where Fossil Bluff is. It is literally the other side of this little ridge. So this little downhill slope, that's where Fossil Bluff is. So, let's get the landing lights on. Fossil Bluff, traffic Penguin 165 is on approach to the skiway. I'd imagine they don't even bother with RT today, but I just want to say a few things because the call sign is Penguin, which is cool. Keep smashing the like button, guys. Hopefully we can get to 100 likes before we get down on the ground here today. Hope you've enjoyed the preview again, the second live stream preview that we've done here on the channel. Right, yeah, so Fossil Bluff is pretty much just the other side of that ridge, I think, from memory. In fact, where's the line? Yes, so there's a little bit of dark patches there. I think the runway is literally here somewhere. So let's get the autopilot off. Snake's asking, Twin Otter versus Kodiak 100, in your opinion, which is the best? Now, we were talking about this a little earlier on. I don't think it is fair to compare the two. Because they're both entirely different aircraft in their own right. It's very difficult, bearing in mind I've got a difference in torque on engine 1 and 2. Rothera, shouldn't landing lights be on constantly? So, now I'm following a checklist from a real pilot who's said to me at cruise they turn the landing lights and everything off. So, I want to be able to try and see it. There's, there we go, there's the tent. And there's the monitoring station and stuff there. So the tent has got the runway just to the right hand side, just the side that we're on at the moment. The east side. Thank God for compasses. So yeah, there we go. We're going to be landing just there somewhere. It's probably going to be messy, so I will apologise in advance. And I will remember actually to get the flight recorder on, because we can try and do a bit of a replay of our touchdown. Why not? Let's bring this down to, was it 10 torque, wasn't it, for the initial descent phase? Interesting. There's a glitch in the matrix, pretty much where the runway is. Ten and 10. Yes, there is. There's the tent. So I want to fly over to get an idea of the direction of the runway in comparison to the tent, because I can't remember where it is entirely. There's that terrain warning. Ah, there we go, there's the runway. There's the jet skier coming out. You obviously heard my traffic call, my radio call. So you can see it's really difficult to see the start of the runway. Let's get around the bit of this. I might just trim a little bit here to let the speed bleed off and try and stay level. God, we've literally just passed that, only just. Okie doke, let's get that speed off now, shall we? We want flaps 10 at 100s. There's 100. Into the blue as well. Hello to you, very warm welcome. How is the India Foxtech F-35? Flight recorders armed and working for us. Oh, imagine being a real pilot here. It'd be absolutely horrendous, wouldn't it? Flaps 2. Where's the rest of my checklist? Landing lights and everything are all on already. So approach speed of about 80 knots, so we're about that now. I think I'm going to want max 30 degrees here already. Now the question is, where is the runway? Here we go. Let's go full flap now and start slowing down, shall we? I don't think at the moment the beta, this is a work in progress, I don't think it's working at the moment with the skis going down. Yeah, not just yet. That's fine. We'll see what happens. I need to try and get some visual with the runway, to be totally honest. There's a glitch in the matrix again. Let's get some power in. There we are. That's a bit of a better glide slope. We don't have any visual indications or anything like that to help us today. I think I need to come left. Yes, there we go. They're picking up the runway now. And I want to maintain this speed and this rate of descent as well, actually. Even though the altimeter says 0. Fantastic. Of course it does. Would they mark it with flares in real life? That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. And it looks like a bit of a curve on the runway as well, because we're approaching ever so slightly to the left, so interesting. We can make a final correction very quickly. And it's all visual now because we can't actually see the runway. And I feel like I'm getting a bit of a downdraft off the edge of this ridge as well.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
And get the old reverse thrust, reverse prop. And we're skidding. Hey, that's awesome. In fact, the skis are down. Look at that. Didn't hit the flags. Every cloud. There's the research station over there in the distance. I need a new pair of trousers after that one, I think. As does everybody else on board. I mean, look how barren that is. See, the only thing you pick up when you're flying over initially is that little station thing there in the tent. That is it. That's all you've got. The guy on the jet ski was waiting eagerly, I'm sure. Let's get a little screenshot of that. Right, let's get a bit of power in, shall we? That shouldn't need too much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to buzz over towards the research station up on the hill over here, and we'll go and park up next to it. Snake Battle, I don't think the reverse is too strong. It's a STOL aircraft after all, isn't it? Yeah, skis are working wonderfully now. Look at that. First time seeing these on our stream today. In fact, we got the jet ski guy racing us back as well. How have we timed that? He's following us back. Hopefully he's on the radio to the people over there in the research station to get kettle on. Are there any prop airliners mods currently? I don't think so. I'm not sure, to be totally honest with you. This, of course, is still a work in progress, folks. Don't forget. So I know it's a week away now. Progress over the last few days has been remarkably strong. Sounds and all that sort of stuff have come on really nicely, but it is still a work in progress with a couple of things left to tweak prior to release. It's not even a flat surface, look. Sky Blue, by the way, which is the next station down, is even more challenging. And it's got some beautiful scenery for it as well. What I quite like as well is if you're quite violent with the skis, the aeroplane literally does skid, which is quite nice. As we saw on touchdown as well, actually. Into the blue, yeah, it is. Everything being so white is quite difficult with depth perception. We're going uphill now, so we're going to have to use a bit of power. I want to show you guys Fossil Bluff. We've never done this scenery live before, so I'll taxi over to that. Did I say jet ski, Mark? Oh no. That's terrible. You know what I mean. Yeah, those jet skis that do the snow stuff, they're fantastic. Amphibious. I suppose you never heard of them. There we go, we're skidding again now because I was too harsh on the old skis. So, what we can also do is we can just open engine 2 up as well. Or we could use reverse thrust. I mean, look how great that turns there. So it shows there's such little friction available on the skis at the moment. Do we park next to the car seat? Pretty sure that's a toilet. Yeah, we'll park next to that anyway. I think the passengers will need a change anyway at this stage. Okay, so shutdown wise, looking at the checklist, after landing, flaps up, taxi, we taxi off basically, and then we shut down. So bring props to feather. I'll use this view again. Lights and things off as required, so we can do strobes and taxi lights. Landing lights are off. And I think from what I understand the aeroplane will start to shut itself down. And we need to do gen, left and right off. So we bring the prop to feather, lights, electrics off, gen 1 and 2 off. Flaps are in. And then it says condition lever off. And then when below 10% gas gen, boost pumps off. Great noises. 1 and 2. There we are. Remote Antarctica. And it is absolutely silent as well, which is quite nice. Shows you how remote this is. I think it adds to the immersion of the scenery as well. So there's the little station with somebody checking us out on the veranda as well. Good old Union flag, like to see that. Hello to them. obviously heard British Avgeek was flying in Penguin 165 today. DC master off and battery EXT to middle, and then that's it basically. That is the end of the shutdown checks. That's it. Done. We can open doors and things as well, so if you're tuning in sort of early on and you've not seen any other previews, you can open all of the doors, although everybody's going to get very cold very quickly, I'd imagine. We go down to the very bottom here, we can open this little passenger door, like so, and the cargo door as well, by clicking the lock area, he says, as his cursor's disappeared into the abyss. There we are. Rothera, no problem at all. Glad you've tuned in and hopefully you've enjoyed it today. Enjoy your studies. It looks remarkable against the white backdrop, doesn't it? Look at that. It's a stunning model from Aerosoft. Do your AirAx match Finnish pilot? No idea. Unknown Finnish pilot asking, anybody experiencing issues with the A32NX database of airways and stars? So for that, the easiest thing would be to get a Navigraph subscription. Otherwise, you have to wait for it to update whenever Asobo do the AirAC update patches. Boil it with a chimney. Don't forget your sunglasses so you don't get snow blind. There we are. What do you guys think of the ski variant? It's quite remarkable, isn't it? Do you want to see the replay? Because if you do, we can shut everything up and we can turn everything back on again and then hit flight recorder mod for a good old replay preview. Let's see, so DC on, battery master, that's all off. We've done all of those as a bit of a test anyway, so let's get us started up. Where's my checklist? Condition lever on. Of course it is. This is the engine start. I'm trying to remember the checklist off by heart and I still haven't quite grasped it, so I've referred back for a little while. Although I did forget boost pumps. Trying to get it on nice and quick for you guys so I can get the replay started. We actually stopped the flight recorder replay here when we parked up, so we should be able to sort of enjoy some wing views as well. Wait for the gas gen. So again, sounds are a work in progress, so some of them do repeat sometimes, but take that with a pinch of salt for the time being. Okay, so then we unfeather the props. And we get to about 70% or so. I know I'm skipping bits and speeding through it all. Before we do actually do the replay, let's head to Valanta. He says we've arrived. There we are. So if we review the flight, it will tell us our statistics at touchdown. It doesn't recognise Fossil Bluff as a thing, but minus 214 foot per minute, 0.95 G. The wind there 314 at 3 knots, so interesting. It seemed to be even with default wind, it seemed to be whipping around a little bit, that ridge. There was definitely some crosswind element for us, which was quite enjoyable. I think that is everything that we need to sort of worry about. So what I'm going to do is hit the flight replay. Oops. Don't want to proceed, I want to hit replay. There we go. Do you want an external view or a wing view? Or should we do both? So initially it was a bit like a steep, almost like a salt-like descent. David, good morning, afternoon as well. Hello to you, hope you're well. Have you made it back from your big trip across Europe yet? Seven more likes to 100, guys. Keep smashing that button. Hopefully we can tip the balance to 100 by the time we end today. Hopefully you're all enjoying it. Now it'd be interesting to see what this ski animations look like as we touch down as well, actually. This is me, twitchy as anything, look. But it's really difficult to gauge your depth perception when everything's just plain blank white. You can't get the gradient of the terrain or anything. Now the sounds here with the flight recorder mod might look entirely different because they might sound entirely different because the flight recorder mod is trying to remember elements of the aircraft's state, and that includes the sounds as well. So it might well be that the sounds here are going to be a little bit different. So I'd probably ignore most of the sounds in this next section. Heyo, hello to you. Good morning over in Recife, Brazil. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're well. Touchdown. Oh, there's a bit of a skid. Now, what does that look like? Let's see. We got a wing view. I reckon we do this for a wing view. What do you guys think? You can hear the actuators kicking in as well. Resume. And then we can do one from like the research tent or something as well. We can actually see it from the approach coming towards us, I guess. That was a weird little balloon that we did at the end though. We almost sort of bumped back into the air, didn't we? Yeah, Muddy Funks, that's the one. We'll do drone cam next from the side of the runway. Good shout. I love the skid. That lack of friction on the skis, that little bit of a skid, because perhaps I was reverse a bit too violent and all that sort of stuff. We stopped a bit too quick. So it's great to see the skids actually happen with this. You'll have to ignore the don't sink. That's the flight recorder mod going a bit crazy. Happens with all the aircraft, sadly. Look at the aileron animations. That's our final correction to get back on the centre line of the runway. Yeah, so the sounds are messed up. That's just because of basically the flight recorder mod getting a bit confused. There's the skid. Now if that was your passenger view and you saw that, you would be absolutely cacking your pants. I definitely wouldn't be comfortable with that. I think we go towards the tents over here. I mean, the terrain is quite tricky. It's on an upslope, which doesn't help. You can see the gradient here, actually. Drone follow mode off. Let's go that a bit higher, and then we can replay it. I don't think it's remembered the lights, but that's fine. Big red plane, can't miss it. How's this view, Muddy Funkster? I'd imagine it's horrendous being a pilot in real life here. It's so unforgiving. Like one little false move and you're off skidding away down into pretty much nothingness. Look at the snow. Oh, look, that's good. Love those visual effects. And then, of course, we bounced and hit the runway again. Tent interior. Ian, really? There's absolutely no interior to this. There's no interior. Sorry to disappoint. There goes the old jet ski. Let's see, where have we gone here? Off we go, look. For the taxi towards the stands, or the research station, I should say. Let's get this drone cam switched up. It's such good scenery to go and explore. It's nice to be able to see the ski animations working wonderfully as well. The skids as well, the loss of friction. And then we've got the snow kicking up behind the skis too, which is nice. I've not seen that before actually. Recently I've been just flying the Tundra passenger versions. Oh, I've done it again, another jet ski. Oh, this is what night shift does to you guys. It's not good for you. You start seeing things. You start seeing jet skis in Antarctica. Oh, look at that. There's a screenshot for the forum. Oh, just as he skids and ruins it. Fantastic. Well done, Luke. Good grief. VATSIM 101, this is the British Rothera and Beyond Antarctic scenery by Aerosoft. It's a payware add-on. Oh, look at the skis bouncing. Here she comes. I'm going to keep calling it a jet ski now, I have to. I can't not. Right, where's that research station? It's up here somewhere. Look at this. Very cool. So polar, so like just deserted. There we are. I think he's come to have a word with me about calling him a jet ski, which is fair enough. I wouldn't be too impressed myself. I won't be doing another leg, sadly, today. Don't have the time for it. Tomorrow, we're going to be live streaming again. Not in the Twin Otter tomorrow. We're going to be in the experimental version of the fly-by-wire mod again. We're going to be taking part on the Real Ops Heathrow event on the VATSIM Network, which is going to be really exciting. Let's jump back into the flight deck here, see what we got. Who knows? We'll leave it running for a minute. Yeah, tomorrow we're going to be taking part in the Heathrow. There's basically a big Heathrow event going on where they're going to try and fully staff it and separate arrivals so that they're exactly 2.5 nautical miles behind one another to pretty much max out the airport on a dual runway operations event, which is going to be really cool. So do join us for that tomorrow. We're going to be flying from London Heathrow to the Pyreek Devco's Glasgow scenery up in Scotland. We'll complete a turnaround and then we'll fly back again, the BA shuttle service with that stunning BA Better World blue A320 livery as well that they've got at the moment. Yeah, I think we need to add a jet ski as a channel emoji, Mark. Just Jace, is there a Starbucks here? I'm not sure, I'll ask the guy on the jet ski. Cheers guys for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed the this next preview. Next week we're going to be doing some Maldivian stuff with the float variant as well, which is going to be quite nice. And hopefully I can try and get some scenery for that as well. And next week we've got a promo code for the new Ljubljana scenery for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So we'll be live streaming that on a date next week. We'll announce it on inside Discord, and during that we'll release the promo code for everybody to be able to get 50% off thanks to the generous developer, basically. So all the details will become more apparent later in the week. Keep your eye out on the forum, the Aerosoft forum. The links are in the description down below if you do want to monitor the Aerosoft Twin Otter progress and see a couple of other streamers and testers dropping in all sorts of pictures and all sorts, yeah, that sort of thing. And yeah, share your thoughts in the comments below if you're watching this post live stream as well. The Aerosoft British Rothera and Beyond Volume 1 Antarctica scenery, the link for that is in the description down below too. So if you do want to get your hands on this fantastic Antarctic landscape, and especially when the Twin Otter comes, then do check out the links down below too. Thanks everybody for tuning in. A very warm welcome on board to all of our new subscribers today as well. It's great to see you guys join us for today's live stream. Thank you very much to Flight Sim Royalty, Flying Fabio, and Into the Blue as well for joining us during today's live stream, and all of our bronze, silver, gold frequent flyers for your ongoing support with your channel memberships and joining in with the live chat and things today as well. So it's great to see you guys all tuning in, and the live chat becoming so active again as yet again. So you can tell I'm tired. Such little sleep over the last 2 days with some extended busy night shifts. But hopefully I can see you all tune in tomorrow for a wonderful live stream in the A320neo, great scenery over at Glasgow, and a fantastic VATSIM event that we're going to be jumping into as well. So I hope to see you all again tomorrow. Thank you all for watching. Definitely going to add a jet ski emoji now. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.